America does not support the leaders who have the mass interest of the people at heart, particularly third world leaders. Well, if she doesn't do that abroad, what do you expect America to support at home? Here you are, 30 million or more black people, and America has nothing more for you to do.
Hello brothers and sisters, I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from. Now, Farrakhan has been sharing the message of black unity, as well as Ibrahim Traore. Now, they have been calling out the black community to unite and fight against imperialism and neocolonialism that is currently happening in Africa and in the diaspora. Now, do you really think this is the correct way to do things? Because Ibrahim Traore has been sensitizing and emphasizing on the importance of a one Africa and the importance of fighting against the Western dominance in Africa. So let's watch this video, then have a really quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
Go through the airports and the bus terminals and see who the people are that are doing the sweeping, the cleaning. It's not you. It is white people today. So if you don't have the menial jobs and you are not prepared for the more technical jobs, and even if you are prepared, they give those jobs to their own. So you now have become a troublesome group of people. So whoever will be your leader would be dangerous to the enemy if that leader is not under their control. I want you to pay clear attention to what I'm saying, because, brothers and sisters, we can go nowhere without leadership. We will never be successful until we are quick to recognize the value of leadership, proper leadership. Now, we have a host of leaders. Most of them are approved by our enemy. We don't need to go any further. If they are approved by the slave master's children, they could not be for you. You don't need an accommodationist leader. You don't need a compromise. You need justice. Is that right? Now, who are the leaders that rose up in America that America did not like? America did not like Paul Robeson. America did not like W.E.B. Du Bois. America did not like Marcus Garvey. America did not like Noble Drew Ali. America did not like Malcolm X. America grew to dislike Martin Luther King. America did not like Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael. America did not like Elijah Muhammad. And America does not like Louis Farrakhan. I'm in good company. I'm in very good company. Now, it's natural to want to be loved. I would like to be liked. I mean, that's human. I don't know any intelligent human being that just wants to go around and make enemies. Do you? Do you think that I want everybody to dislike me? No. How do you think I feel waking up in the morning knowing that I am number one on America's list as public enemy number one? I'm not a criminal. I don't sell drugs, but I'm public enemy number one. I don't understand it. Of course I understand it. If you're a criminal, you're all right, because they can deal with criminals because they're criminals. That's why the people, oh, praise be to Allah. The people chose Barabbas over Jesus because he was more in tune with their own wicked conduct. They don't like a man of righteous character. America hates Farrakhan. I can accept that because America does not love black people. Well, if I love black people and God loves black people and God wants to raise the black man up and I am an instrument of that cause, then how can America love me? And how can I love America as America is? The land has not sinned against us. It's a beautiful land. It's the most beautiful country probably anywhere to be found on the earth. There's nothing wrong with the country. It's the people. And it's the government. It's the system of injustice. It is the system of education. It is the system of politics that is so rotten and corrupt that nobody can find peace or justice in these systems. So black folk today are through with it. Now, America has some hand-picked few that they would like to be your leaders. You know, America don't like Jesse. They appear like they like Jesse, but they don't like Jesse. You know why they don't like Jesse? They really can't trust Jesse. They don't know where Jesse's going to be tomorrow. But if they listen to Jesse Jackson closely, they'll find enough love in Jesse for his people that they just can't trust Jesse. Now, we just lost the seat of mayor in the city of Chicago, right? And a lot of black folk are very upset. We're really hurt over our loss. But if you really think about it, what did you lose? You didn't lose a seat of power. You lost a place of honor. Because even though you had honor, you didn't have the power to change the condition of the people. So look, we don't need positions of honor unless you just this sick-minded slave who wants to be honored by your master. So if they can just call you Mr. Mayor, even though you don't have any juice to change the condition of your people. If this is what you want, then white folks can give you that. But today they didn't even want you to have that. Even though they're still the boss in the city. They still control the money. The mayor of Chicago is a big fella, because he controls nearly $3 billion in a budget. That's big, brother. And a black man had that job for the first time. Now, you know they didn't want Mr. Washington to be any mayor. But we did. And we elected our brother, didn't we? And we were happy that we elected him, weren't we? The day after the election, we met each other on the streets. We weren't even talking to each other. But because we put our brother in, the brothers had the thumbs up. They had the high sign. The sisters were talking on the buses, on the streetcars, saying, right on, baby. Right on. We did it. We did it. But once we put our brother in the office, our brother had to fight to get control now of his office. He was wise. He was brilliant. He was a great fighter. I mean, nobody can take that away from Harold Washington. A consummate politician. During the first 4 years, the council wars, which he seemed to relish. I mean, he wore down his opponents. He had the city remapped, redistricted, so that more black and Hispanic older persons could come to the city council. So then he became the majority. He was now consolidating power to begin to do what he had in his heart and mind that you couldn't see during his first term of office. But the government of the United States, I hope that you understand, I'm not anti-government. We need government. But a rotten government we do not need. And the American government, where black people are concerned, is the most rotten government on earth. It compares with South African government. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. The government of the United States did not want a black man as mayor of the second city of the nation at that time. She's third now, but she's the #1 city as a commercial center. So the government sent agents in, FBI, to frame, misguide, mislead members of the city council so that a scandal might come up during Mayor Washington's re-election that they could use to undermine him with the people. But the mayor beat that and died less than a year into his second term. So our giant was gone. But when a giant goes, the lesser lights, like it was with Jesus, always cast lots for his garment. Everybody is casting their lot now as to who will wear the mantle of Harold Washington. In the city council, Sawyer had more votes from the original 21 than anybody else. It's true. But neither of them had the magnetism to draw the whole 21 together. Jesse Jackson was overseas, and when Harold died, Reverend Jackson came immediately home. Reverend Jackson was the only man that had enough light to keep the group together. But unfortunately, I think he made a mistake. He favored Evans over Sawyer. And because he favored Evans over Sawyer, though Sawyer had the majority at that time, the whole house got split. And the rancor and the bitterness of the division that came into the house when Sawyer took the seat of office is still present in the city today? How can you say 91, 91, we'll do it in 91, when in reality you can't do nothing in 91 unless you heal the divisions that are within the city or within the black community? Black folk are fed up with this foolishness. There must be another way. And there is. If Evans had become mayor, we would be happy emotionally, but not necessarily satisfied, because he lacks the juice to bring about satisfaction. Now, what does this all boil down to? It boils down to the question of leadership. Either we're going to follow the temporal leadership that is politically controlled by the enemy, who has deceived us and the whole world and wants to lock us in their power, or we will follow divine leadership and get out of the condition that we're in. There is no other choice to make. Either you follow God's leadership or the leadership appointed for you by your enemies. God's leadership will be hard because it makes a demand on you and me that we are not willing to make on ourselves. But God's leadership will get us out of this, while the enemy's leadership will suck us down with the enemy as he goes down. Now we've got to make a decision. Now hear this. I don't know how many of you have ever read the Bible. How many of you read the Bible? And how many of you have read the Quran? Okay. If you read scripture, the magicians of Pharaoh were in Pharaoh's camp because Pharaoh had money. They wanted the money. So Pharaoh used them against divine leadership, which was Moses and Aaron. The magicians were magic workers. You know what a magic worker is. He gives you illusions. And you think it's this, but it's not. Right? These kind of fellas were hooked up with Pharaoh against Moses and Aaron. When you read about them in the Quran, Moses complains to God. My people will not hear me. Why won't they hear you? Because they are attracted to the wealth of Pharaoh. So God said, well, I'll just put my finger against his wealth. Fine. Once God started weakening the wealth of Pharaoh, then he started shaking the people loose. As the wealth of Pharaoh began to diminish, Moses and Aaron began to rise in significance as the wealth of the enemy went down. Then as Moses and Aaron became more significant and their miracles more powerful.
Hello brothers and sisters, I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from now. I know this video might not be very much popular, but for the fact that Farrakhan has been talking about the unity of the black community around the world. Now, it's the same message Ibrahim Traore of Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso has been talking about for all the 2 years. He has been on the public glare. Now, I really love that most of the black leaders are acknowledging that the failures of the previous generations of the black community was brought by the divisions that coexist in between Africa, the Caribbean, the Latin America, and Europe, and this is the time we should acknowledge that Africa is way back better at the moment, because we have one or two leaders who are acknowledging that the failures of Africa can directly be contributed to the division amongst the black community. Now, I know there is a lot of talk between the similarities of the message of Louis Farrakhan and that of Ibrahim Traore. No, it must be remembered that Louis Farrakhan has been talking about the cultural and the spiritual leadership that need to exist in the black community. He has been talking about the black community realigning itself and realizing that they are copying a culture that is not theirs, that the manners and the behavioral change between and around the black community that does not belong to them in whichever way. And there is a way and there is need for us to change how we've been behaving and be treating ourselves and our brothers and sisters. Now, I really appreciate the fact that Africa, the Caribbean, the diaspora is opening its eyes to this message, and we are now realizing that we need to do better as people of the black descent, that we need to do better, that we really need moral conservatism, and that the spiritual renewal of where we came from or how we related with our God has been changed over time, that we really need to sit down and realize where the problem is, that we need to emphasize on family values, discipline, sobriety, and spiritual purpose. Now, we really need to actually realize that a lot has been taken away from us, and we need to reject violence, we need to reject drugs, and we need to reject broken families. That's not the black culture, This is whatever the black community has copied, and this is whatever is affecting most black families and brothers and sisters out here. Now, is this not the same message Ibrahim Traore is talking about? Ibrahim Traore is talking about Pan-Africanism. He's talking about blackness. He's talking about making Africa great again. And how are you going to make Africa great again? How are you going to conserve our moral values in Africa if we are not going to unite? Now, don't you see the similarities in between the messages of Ibrahim Traore and that of Louis Farrakhan? Now, it is entirely not true to say that Louis Farrakhan has ever met Ibrahim Traore. That's a lie. Now, we are trying to compare whatever is happening right now, whatever our leader Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso is talking right now, and that which was said back in the days by the minister Louis Farrakhan. Can't you just see how much similarities exist between the two? We want a united front of Africa. We want to make Africa great. We want to change the political and the global voice of Africa. And we want to change the political and the global voice of our diaspora brothers and sisters. We want to change that in the Caribbean. We want to change that in America. We want to change that in Europe. And how are we going to do that? That's the question. Are we willing? Now, the political outreach in Africa, the Caribbean, Middle East, in Europe must be realigned, and we must come back and start where we left, that we must actually sit down, and realize where we made the mistakes and try to correct whatever we've been doing. Now, we need the international diplomacy between Africa, the Caribbean, Middle East, and just around the world where black community exists is very poor. That we need to start uniting Africa with the Caribbean, with the diaspora. And this is whatever Ibrahim Traoré has been doing. And this is whatever he has been saying over the years, that this is the time we should welcome the children of Africa back home so that they can unite and build their own motherland. And sitting down and realizing that this is the same message Louis Farrakhan has carried around all this time is very, very good. Now, however much there is a lot of criticism around this topic, that in some type of manner it is considered that this is trying to alienate and divide people around the world so that you can rule them. Now, the people have always been divided. And when you talk about bringing them back, that does not certify a division, that when you talk about breaching the gap between Africa, the diaspora is not dividing. It is an awakening. This awakening time that a revolution is about to happen. It has started in Burkina Faso and it is going around the world. Are you ready? Are you ready, black folks? Are you ready, the black community? We must appreciate the fact that Africa is doing a lot to unite. And I really want to see a united Africa. I wanted to see a united Caribbean. I want to see a united Middle East. I want to see a united Africa and the American continent at large, the Latin America, the Caribbean, and everywhere around the world. We want to see a united Europe. We all, after all, are human beings, and we need to promote humanity. So what is the problem when we talk about the black unity? Everyone is uniting. Europe has united. America is uniting. But when we talk about the unity of Africa, that's where some people draw the line. Even some of the people from Africa do not want to hear about the unity of Africa. That's how much the brainwashing has been done. The damage is so big. And for us to do a damage control, we really need us to start figuring out where we went wrong. How did we do things? And why are we just not that very much aggressive about the unity of our own continent and the unity of our own people? Are we willing in whatever way to be there and unlock every success that has been blocked by the division that has existed between our brothers and sisters everywhere around the world? Are we willing? Are we willing, Africa? Are we willing to support Ibrahim Traoré? Are we willing to support Pan-Africanism? These are the bigger question that we are asking today. Now, there is a global solidarity on the issue of the unity of the black folks and the leaders that have been talking about this. Now, I really love when I see people like Julius Malema of South Africa. I do not agree with most of the things or with most of the ideologies he carries around, but I believe, and I want to see him carrying the same message of unity years and years. Even if he becomes the president, he should not change at any given time just because he is the head of the country. That we need to see a solidified Africa, a solidified Caribbean, a solidified diaspora. We want to mention Africa and include Africa in one of the mega developments across the world. And we cannot achieve this, the black community, if we are not united. We can't achieve anything meaningful if we are not united. We've been talking of imperialists. We've been talking about imperialism in Africa and neocolonialism at this level. in Africa. How are we going to stop that? Are we still going to talk about the same thing and relax? No. We should actually try as much as we can and, and change the narrative in Africa. We must not accept the same things to be done that were done to our grandparents and just listen as someone does something bad. We ain't going to accept that. Now, we are urging all the diaspora, Africans, and everyone of the black descent to embrace unity and to fight against neocolonialism, and imperialism at the same time. One person cannot achieve this alone. Two people cannot achieve this. We must march as in large numbers so that we can stop this. Now, I want to share Ibrahim Traore's message with you today, that the Burkina Faso leader who came to power via a coup d'etat in September 2022 is actually spreading the message of unity and neocolonialism. Now, he has been championing for Pan-Africanism and self-determination as an African continent and the black community and in the diaspora, both in the diaspora and in Africa. Now, he has been rallying the fight against control of power in Africa, and he has been calling out all black people around the world to unite. And this has been echoing whatever Louis Farrakhan has been standing for a very, very long time, for the African liberation and the black liberation as well. Now, there are a lot of challenges and the Western hypocrisy that still exists in Africa and in the diaspora. We might not want to buy the lies, and you might not want, but you might be forced to. We've been sold a lot of lies about Africa, about the black community, and how much the black community cannot have success or cannot actually be something bigger themselves. And we say no to this. We are uniting as the black community. We want to change the powers that have controlled Africa. We want Africa to be a better place for everyone and not a place where things are being looted. And just to summarize everything, and I know it is complex yet impactful, that we must heighten the awareness around personal and communal responsibility. We must be aware, and we must actually acknowledge that we have a responsibility as the black people, and we must concentrate on the economic initiatives that are being carried out with our leaders on self-sufficiency. This is very important for us, and we might not want in any way to rely on someone else for years, because that's whatever tool they have used to manipulate and control Africa. And we must mobilize ourselves both politically, economically, socially, so that we might have a united front of Africa. And the voter participation in Africa and the Caribbean and in the US is very, very important everywhere, even in the diaspora, for us to elect some good leaders. Now, thank you so much for having taken the time to watch this video. I really appreciate, brothers and sisters. If it's your first time on this channel, please consider subscribing, sharing, commenting, and liking. We share because we want this message to reach many people, and we like for the YouTube algorithm to notice this is a good video so that it might as well reach so many other more people. Thank you so much. See you in our next episode.